Yo, hello, good people, good ladies, good women, good men. Um, Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Isn't that what they say on what's that movie? With Jim Carrey.
Good
Um,
evening, good night. When is the anchor?
the no, not when he's the anchor. When he is the Truman Show. You
Okay,
ever seen the
yes, yes,
Truman
yes. Yeah,
Show?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, hello, good people. Welcome to episode 6 of the Big Belly Pats. I'm your boy, the one and only Mr. Nick Brown. I got my homeboy, my brother from another color and another mother, my Mr. Daniel Moxham. How you doing, good sir?
I'm good, thank you very much. I'm good, thank you. Another lovely introduction by Nick himself.
Hey man, ain't nothing to it but to do it, man. That's how I live my life out here. So yeah, man. Yeah, episode 6, and we rocking and grinding. We got some. I think it's going to be a good one. We got a
Hmm.
lot of tips, advice, some few criticisms from some of our listeners, but we took it all in jest. Love it all. Only thing we can do is just get better at the best we
That's
can.
it. That's it.
Um, for those who's watching on YouTube, Daniel has a dope ass Big Belly Pats poster. Not even a poster, it's like a foam. I don't. Is it foam or is it wood?
It's fun. It's a fun thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Foam board behind him. I'm jealous. I got Spider Man behind me. I'm working on it. Um, so yeah, man, I'm jealous of what he has.
yeah.
Hopefully, I'm planning on getting one soon. So yeah, man. How you been? How's the week been? How's life?
Life's good. It's been good. It's going all right. It's another week in China, as you say. We don't say it's another day. Normally, back in South Africa, it's another day in Africa. You recently got on a trip. You were out of the country, but you were still on the island.
Yeah, so I went to Scotland
Yes.
and it was dope, man. Scotland was dope. A lot more fun than I had expected, to be honest. A lot more color in people than I expected, to be honest, which was a great thing because where I am, it's not a lot of representation.
Hmm.
But in Scotland, man, I loved it. Place was dope. We went to Glasgow. Not going to talk too down on them. I wasn't the biggest fan. It was a bit dirty, fairly heavy homeless population, at least in the inner city. Wasn't the biggest fan of it. But went to Edinburgh. Edinburgh might be one of my favorite cities. I highly recommend people who are kind of. It looks not mid. I guess would it be? I don't know if you would say like medievalish. The houses are kind of like big old cottages. I don't really know how to describe it. I got a lot of photos and stuff. But Edinburgh was dope, man. The food was dope. The people were cool. I watched a drug dealer and a junkie get into a fight, which was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, they just got to swing. It's like on like the tourist street. They just got to swinging on each other, and it was funny because one guy, the guy was like, "I don't want to." He's held both hands up. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. As he's saying this, he swung, punched the guy in the jaw. After you punched him, he said, "I don't want to fight." I'm like, "You just swung." I was like, "There's no way you gonna swing on me and say we not fighting. No, we fighting now." And the people who like live there, the locals, they were like, don't worry about it. This is Tuesday or Sunday. Like it's just a normal day." I was like, "Damn." So yeah, we went.
you,
Man,
you got the live action. You got the live
so
action
we
from
we
from
went
Scotland.
there. Went to some castles, tried some crazy food, dope museum. I'm not the biggest museum guy. They had a crazy cool. We didn't even. You'd have to spend hours in this museum to see everything. So we surely didn't see everything, but dope museum. Bit of some cool history, man. So Scotland was up there. We rode the train,
Nice.
uh, like their version of the bullet train or fast train or whatever, from where I am to Scotland and back. I will say, train wasn't bad. It's not up to Chinese standards. I miss Chinese trains, man. The Chinese, even like the cheap seats, it was still comfortable. You still got to lean back. It was still China. As far as I can tell, from where I've been, no one's touching Chinese like bullet trains. So
Now the Chinese trains are have got they're high speed,
Most of them are
they're
like fairly
quick,
clean
and
too.
surprisingly enough, they're comfortable for big guys like us. They're not too bad, and they're pretty much affordable. That's for sure. You know, technology. We're talking about technology.
Cause
See,
yeah, it had froze on
oh
yours. So I
man,
was
for
like, I'm
everyone who
just
knows
wait.
that now, just Nick's just
But
laughing
anyways,
because there's a
maybe I'll chop it or
lekker
something.
delay, a lovely delay
But
in our episode
that was
so far,
Scotland.
and all I'm listening to is Nick. Oh my god, look at this delay!
Hey, don't worry, man. Don't worry. Some of this I could chop out. Don't even stress.
Man, the delay is lovely, lovely technology from a other side of the world trying to interact with one another. There it goes again.
Woo! Fun, fun, fun. Anyways, man, we got some questions we wanted to get into. Um, some questions from friends, family, expats, whatever you decide to call us these days. And I think Daniel's got some questions he wants to ask us.
Yeah. So our viewers on Instagram decided to engage with us. Some of the people we know, they enlightened us with some of the questions. So what I did was I ran a little bit of a story for a few hours or a day or two, and the question was basically asking any question for our podcast regarding us being
Mm-hmm.
expats in China. So questions aimed at being expats in China, and there are quite a few, and I think we're going to discuss them over a couple of episodes. But I think what we can do is we can take turns in answering them, or
Yeah.
each have an answer for one. And I think a really really good one that I think I would like Nick to answer is question, all right. Was there anything you wished you brought from home or you missed the most
So while we
from
was in
home?
China, what do I miss the most?
Yeah, so what did you miss the most, or what do you miss the most, or what could you bring from home? What would you bring from home to China, or while you lived here?
Um, Common sense. Does that count? Common sense. Uh, yeah, just you know, just I don't even know how else to word that. If you don't know what common sense is, I feel like you don't have it. If you have to Google common sense, you don't have common sense. Um, outside of that, what would I bring? Outside of like family or like friends that I wish we could have come to visit us or at least visit me while I was still there. I don't think there's anything materialistic that I would bring because in China, man, with the price of everything, it's just everything is so cheap there. We not saying that we were rolling in money, but it was so cheap and compared to the cost of living, the money you made and how cheap everything was, you didn't really want for anything. My like if I like knowing what I know now, if I was to ever go back and move and live in China, I wouldn't struggle like I did my first like 6 months to a year because at that time I didn't know much.
Ye- Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
kind
now
of
I
come
would be
more
like
equipped.
like my first apartment in China was god awful. It was terrible. It I remember they took my air conditioner and it was hot. So I was sleeping with this window open on this couch that didn't have a leg on one side. It kept flipping over. The mattress was about as thick as an A4 sheet of paper. It had this big stain on it. I told my landlord, she said, flip it over. It was another stain on it. I said, it only flips once. There's only two sides to this mattress. I slept on a couch for like a week before I made some money to go. First thing I went to, my first splurge was IKEA on a big, thick mattress. And that was like the first outside of like cleaning supplies. My first check went to like a bunch of cleaning supplies. I spent like 1 or 2 days off in my house sweating. I scrubbed every inch of that house, every single inch. But it was just. But now knowing what I know now, I wouldn't struggle like that. I wouldn't because it was just we went there not knowing what was what. Now that we know what's
Yeah.
what, I wouldn't be that big of an issue now. So Yeah, I go looking back, I could have brought so much, but knowing what I know now, I honestly don't. I would just for anyone that wants to like go to like a foreign country and or especially China. I can't say all of them, but to somewhere to like China, and especially if you're a foreigner, wanted to teach or anything, I just recommend have some cash, just have some money saved up. I didn't have a lot. I took like 1,000 US because I was bum struggling at the time.
Yeah.
I took like 1,000 US with me to China. Didn't realize 1,000 US in China can last you about a good month and a half easily. Um, so like the average Chinese person makes less than that in a month. So it was, yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right there when you say like it's that second time round. If you get that chance to come back, you're obviously going to come back so much more prepared. And but yeah, I like that tip. Bring some cash if you can, and
yeah,
if you're able to spend some money on some small
yeah.
luxuries, like you
Because
said.
your first year, everything you're going to have in your apartment is going to be new. It's going to be new. It's going to be from China. Um, but once you get into the expat community and you meet other people from different countries, people that have been there for a while, especially like when in your job, like my first friends that I made were people I worked with, obviously, who had already been in China for 4 or 5, 6, 7 years. So they already knew what's what. So they were able to help me be like, no, go here, shop here. This is legit. This is not. And it was just, for me, it was fairly easy to maneuver around to kind of get what I wanted and where I wanted to be.
Yeah, you take time to settle, and that's
Yeah.
everywhere you go,
But I
basically.
just, once again, I've stressed this to my family and friends who haven't been there or thinking about going abroad. My cousins that have like just graduated college or whatever. I have my first like 2 months going back home. I was like a walking ambassador for China. I was just like, bro, your money goes crazy far over there. Like what you're struggling with over here, like,
Yeah,
dude,
for
that
sure.
apartment, my last apartment that I lived in, that was um downtown,
Yeah,
not as city center, but like pretty city center. Um, and I was like a 24th floor, but it was a nice apartment. Nice apartment, 2 bedroom, fully furnished, great apartment that I had. That apartment, downtown, amazing view of the city from like my bedroom window. I spent in US dollars, that was probably about, I think like $450 a month. If you take that same city and that same apartment and put that in the US, any city, that apartment is at least 3, 4K a month, which would probably be like, I don't know,
yeah.
20,000 kwai or something a month.
No, for sure. Your money. No, like yeah, that's the thing though. That's like I said. I mean, there's a few people that have recently moved to China now that are starting to come back into China and new expats, new faces, fresh faces, and I think the best advice is the small things are going to grate you, but if you can look past those small things, man, this place is it's a comfortable lifestyle. Yeah, language barriers, cultural barriers, but like I tell people here, I'm not here to change China. I'm a guest in the country, and China's been good to me. It's done so much for me. So, like you said, just first time comers, bring a little bit of extra cash. It might be difficult, but that will enable you just to settle a little bit easier, get what you need, and go for it. All right, so that was a good answer to the first question. All right, so that was a question. I like one of the questions that was asked here, and I think I would like to tackle the question a little bit. And if you have an opinion, jump right in. But one of the questions was, what do you think some of the biggest misconceptions are about living in China? And I think for me, one of the biggest misconceptions living in China is definitely the conceptions. that are built around their eating habits, especially for everyone out there. If someone has to ask me,
I hate that
have you
question.
eaten dog before? I've been in China for 5 years. I still
Hmm.
have not
Hmm.
eaten dog. All right? It's not something I can
Hmm.
go outside and just find, like I can
Hmm.
find a bottle of Coke. Okay? It is
It's not.
a delicacy,
I
should I
wouldn't even say
say,
it's a delicacy.
of it's and it's just not really heard of. Their diet consists of more
Yeah.
vegetables than meat. They have their staple meat products. They have pork, they have beef, they have
Yeah.
lamb, and that's it. Most of their diet consists
Hmm.
of rice, noodles, and vegetables. Very, very little meat in their diet, and it's most yes, the conception of rice does
Tons
exist.
of
There is
rice.
tons of rice everywhere. They'll give
Loads
you
of
rice with
rice.
everything you can ask for, and tons
Loads
of
of
noodles.
noodles.
Yeah, so much noodles.
They
Like you can get cold noodles, spicy noodles, hot noodles, small
however
noodles,
you want
every
your
type of noodle
noodles,
you can think of.
however you
You can
want
think
your
of
noodles
any
and
noodle,
rice,
you
they
got it.
got you.
They got you. They got you. Fried rice. You want fried rice shrimp. You want fried rice meat. You want
I
fried
will
rice
say,
vegetables. You
I
got
actually,
boom.
mhm.
So that misconception.
No, I was gonna say,
Karen, Karen, Karen.
I actually looked into this whole eating dog, eating cat stereotype, and that stems from one, people in China, just throwing this out there for everyone, they don't do that. If you go to like any city, especially the city we were in, when they wasn't even a big city, a small city of 8 million people, um, but if you go to any city, no one's out there serving dog and stuff like that. So what that stemmed from is, from my understanding, from what I was told by some Chinese friends, is that when China went through a patch, maybe 70, 60, 70 odd years ago, when they went through a big starvation patch, the economy wasn't great. Yeah, the economy
The
wasn't
big
great.
drought.
So
Yes,
it
that's it.
was food wasn't
That's
available.
it.
It was hard for people to get food. So in a lot of poorer areas where they had nothing to eat, yes, if at that point, then yes, they would eat a dog or a cat. But that's pretty much any country.
Exactly.
Like any place that you find somewhere at a certain time where there's a famine and there's nothing to eat, you are going to, I understand you like Toto, but Toto gonna have to get fried up before my grandma passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that's just what it is. But and I think that stemmed from that was at a time way before we were even thought of, when China was at a place where they people were struggling heavily. So that you had to do what you have to do, to get some type of nutrient.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, the outside world found out about it, and then that's just been the stereotype. Oh, they eat dogs over there. I've had people tell me that same thing. I'm like, bro, I ain't seen not one dog eat everything. In which, to be fair, especially in the U.S., 80% of the food you eat, and you don't even know where that shit come from. You might have ate a dog in your hometown. I tell
Exactly.
people like I don't eat hot dogs.
Yeah. We don't know what
Nobody
McDonald's is
knows.
doing right now.
I used to work at
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
The burgers is just a stack of these yellow, not yellow, these pink hockey pucks in the freezer. And you just throw them on the grill. You pull the thing down, boom, burger. You don't know if that's, yeah. They said that's beef. You don't know if that's no beef. If you go to these local mom and pop shop, oh, it's a hot dog, dude. I don't eat hot dogs no more because I messed up and watched the documentary. I watched a documentary on how hot dogs are made. I'm not gonna ruin it for anyone, but if you think if someone says, "Oh, this hot dog is 100% beef," it's 100% beef in there. It ain't the only thing that's in there though. So yeah, I don't.
No, 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 no.
That whole
There's other
misconception,
things in there.
and the one thing about China that I really appreciated in being in another country is that you get to see, and even like being here in the UK, you get to see the flip side of the coin, because in America, in the US, we have
Yes.
these stereotypes and these ideas of other countries. Nothing against, it's like ignorance, like innocent ignorance, because you just don't know. But then when you get over there and you start to see, like, oh, it's not really like that. This is government versus government. governments is just old white men having a dick swinging contest. Is really what it is, and so it's not like that because when I went back home,
Yeah.
so many times people would say some stuff that was kind of like inadvertently racist against Chinese people, and after living there, I started like to defend them more. I'm like, nah, stop saying that because that's not true. That's not what it is. They not
Yeah.
like that. They no. You saying that because CNN or BBC News told you that. What they just told you is bullshit. I've seen it firsthand. It's not like that.
Yeah, I think yeah, we obviously don't want to
Right.
go too political, but from traveling and obviously yeah, like I mean when I lived in South Africa and all these misconceptions about Asian people, China, and I got to admit my Chinese
Mm-hmm.
knowledge about China, my history of China, whatever it was, geographical knowledge was probably 0.5% when I came. I didn't really have the interest in it. But coming here, learning about the culture, and obviously throughout the 5 years, obviously the hate towards China during COVID was just quite ridiculous at sometimes. And the poor people that felt it, who were Asian outside of China at the time, also felt it. But we're obviously not going to go in there. But like, it was just, I was just like, people were like, yo, China does this, China does this, China does this. And I was like, well, where I stay with 9 million
Mm-hmm.
people, I don't really see it. And obviously, like you said, traveling opened my eyes. And everywhere you go, everywhere, every city, every country, every town, every street is going to have good people and bad people. You're going to have the bad people of that culture. You're going to have the good people of that culture, and it's who do we choose to have an opinion about, and who we actually want to be involved with. So, yeah, misconception, definitely eating dog is is one of the biggest things I'd like to tell our viewers and subscribers. It's
Yeah.
it doesn't really happen here.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I would say.
And I'll flip the coin. I'll flip the coin quickly. I'll flip the coin. I don't want to eat vegetables in another country. For me, China makes the best vegetables. I will hands down say that. Their cauliflower, where they fry up with bacon and oh my
Ooh,
god, with some
ooh, that
lovely chilies in
cauliflower and that
there.
go about
Ooh.
roll.
And
Ooh.
then,
Hey.
ooh, grab a roll, man, grab a roll.
Hey,
Hey,
that.
yeah. And then you have when you're eating chua,
Mm,
when you're eating like meat sticks. And look, I come from Africa. I come from South Africa. We meat lovers. We braai our meat. We braai our meat. And the meat sticks that I eat here are awesome, man. Great. Like
mm.
they spiced really nicely. And then they have the best cucumber garlic peanut mix in my life. If you're eating like spicy hot food, and then they have this cucumber salad with the garlic and the peanuts.
I.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh, it's vegetables in
Yeah.
China are just another level,
And
man.
you can get so. And that's the thing is what I've noticed in the U.S. is we in the U.S. you can get the same vegetables. You can get good vegetables. I'm pretty sure in Africa, South Africa as well. But the flip is in the U.S. and even in
Yeah,
like the UK. Well, not so much. I don't know about the UK too in depth, but in the U.S. to eat that good food like that is expensive. It's expensive. McDonald's is cheap. Burger King cheap. KFC cheap. That's why we so much on fast food because it's not so much as people want it. It's just you get the best bang for your buck. But if you want to eat healthy, it's expensive. Whereas on the flip side, in China,
yeah.
dude, McDonald's is expensive. Burger King was expensive. Those fast food places, yeah,
It's
those are expensive,
expensive.
man. Go
Yeah,
ahead and give me these vegetables, man.
like like this cup of coffee, this Starbucks cup of coffee. It
It's not
ain't. It's
cheap.
not cheap. It isn't. It's and like I mean like yeah like I mean I explained to a friend the other day when I was ordering like a simple
Hmm.
dish kung pao chicken with rice. Like I can spend probably 40 yuan, and that kung pao chicken and rice is big enough for
Yeah.
me for 2 nights. But for a Big Mac
Hmm.
meal, it's 40 kwai. So you're getting your meal, rice, kung pao chicken, which has your vegetables in it, a little bit of a sweet sauce, mix it with your rice. That's 2 meals, 2 nights. That's 20 kwai a meal. It's
Easily.
half the
I
price of
used to.
McDonald's. So I do agree with
Yeah, I used
your
to. It's
comment
been
there.
a few times just working in the Chinese schools, and on lunch, the Chinese teachers end up they have their own food, or the kitchen makes them something. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but usually I like order. I like put in like an order on Elima or Meituan, which if for those listening to Elima and Meituan are like your DoorDash, pretty much Chinese DoorDash or Uber Eats or something like that. And yeah, yeah,
Mr. Delivery for South
yeah.
Africans. I
So,
think Uber Eats.
but if I ordered food and it was Chinese rice, noodles, vegetables, some chicken, some type of beef, banging food for the U.S. equivalent of like $4, cheap, and it's a lot. No one said anything. Oh, you got some food. If I ordered some
Yeah.
McDonald's or some Burger King or some KFC, them Chinese teachers would see me and be like, "Oh, so you got money? You rich? You rich? You got a Big Mac and some fries? Oh, your pockets are deep." I'm like, "It's just some chicken wings." No, it's I can't stress it enough, man. That's one thing I miss, man. The cheapness of it.
Yeah, I think not just the cheapness. I
Yeah,
think the
yeah, yeah.
affordability
Better
of
word.
China is a big thing. Is a great thing. The affordability, like Starbucks, Big Macs, whatever it is, it's expensive when you're looking at it from a different point of view. But being an expat, being very blessed the way we are with our wonderful salaries in China, being a foreigner, you get to
Starbucks
afford
was
such
my
nice
guilty
things.
pleasure, though. Even though I knew it was expensive, that was my guilty pleasure. That was
It's
I can
it's my
I can
kryptonite.
easily say the amount of
Starbucks.
money I spent on Starbucks in China. Uh, I think if I took my money and your money together, we could have opened
No,
up a
no,
coffee
let's not go
shop
there.
easily, easily.
Ooh,
Yeah, we
ooh.
could have
We could have
bought a
retired
car. We could have bought a house. As much money I spent on Starbucks.
easily. Easy.
As he says, as he's sitting there drinking a Starbucks, as he's
Now you're
drinking a
making me feel
Starbucks.
bad for drinking it.
But a lot of that was going
Ooh.
going off of a tangent of coffee. A lot of that was I've had coffee in a lot of like Chinese places, and it just wasn't as good. But when I would go to like Starbucks, they had a other few other
Yeah.
chains there. It was just better. The coffee tasted better. Where I went to like other places and it was just like watered down. So I think that was just kind of the rub to it. So
Yeah, I think like if you we just a little side note with that coffee thing. I was fortunate enough last year to travel to a province called Yunnan, the Yunnan province. I think you were. That's when I just finished at
yeah,
the school we worked together at, and we went to Yunnan province, and it's a beautiful, beautiful. I mean, if you're listening in China and you haven't been to Yunnan, or you're planning to come to China and you want to visit a cool place, Yunnan province is probably my favorite province of China. And some of the wonderful cities there had the best coffee that I've tasted. And I still, to this day, a year and a half later, order the beans from that coffee shop, from my coffee machine here. So I order it every month, and it's the best beans I've had, the best coffee I've had. And yeah, that's like you said, it's very difficult to find good coffee in China. They all try to compete, and in order to compete in China, you got to have the right prices or the right brand. And sometimes, like you said, they water down the coffee and it's just
okay.
not the
Well,
best.
yeah, solid. You got another question for me?
Well,
Okay.
let's look at one more question. I've got one more question. So I think this is a tough question. I think let's see. I'm gonna pick one. I'm going through a few. I'm going through a few of them, but I think we've answered one or two of them already while talking about what we talked about because we went off the sidetrack. But I think one of the questions is why didn't you leave during COVID? Why didn't you leave during
You want me to
COVID?
answer that first? I
I don't know. Yeah, yeah, you can answer it because I mean you
I
did.
did not leave during COVID, and my initial first reason was because the school that I was working at. Sorry, the school that I was working at. Because COVID kicked off, we weren't going to school, so we started teaching online. I was starting to do basically half the work for the same amount of money. So when COVID was kicking off, because I had just came from Cambodia during the Chinese New Year of 2020, and my salary never dropped. So in my head, and a lot of people that I knew at that time were like, why would we leave to go home when it wasn't really sure what's going to happen over there? You're not going to make as much money because I don't think no one was really hiring during COVID. And it was just, I was for working from home at that time, making as much money as I was making. My salary never dipped. It was like, why leave? Why leave? Um, Granted, at that time, we didn't know how long it was
Yeah.
going to last,
Yeah.
but I was just like, why leave? The money's good. And now because we couldn't go out as much, you were ideally like, it's not making more, but like saving more because you weren't going out and traveling and doing, which was the downfall to it. Um, because when COVID kicked off, I had tickets to Japan, Spain, and South Korea, and they all got canceled. Um, but yeah, because I was supposed to go
Damn.
to, it was supposed to be my 29th, I think my 29th birthday. And we had tickets to, it was my 29th birthday. I had tickets to Korea, South Korea for my 29th. And my homeboy Trent, his birthday was it was his 30th birthday in March. And his girlfriend at the time had was taking him to Madrid, Spain, and I was gonna surprise them in Spain. He didn't know I was coming for his 30th. So I had tickets for that. And boom, all that got
Oh
canceled.
wow.
So but yeah, outside of that, man, it was just honestly, the foundation of it was the money was good, man. The work was easier. I was working from home. It was just like I was in a sweet situation. Like,
Yeah.
granted, I know some people had different situations in their apartment. At this time, my apartment was big, man. It was a lot of space. It was I had everything I needed, everything I wanted. I can get whatever delivered to me. I could eat whatever I want, drink whatever I want. The place I was in, I couldn't leave the community, but I could like walk outside, walk around, and I was still getting paid money and had no dip in my salary. So I was just like, it just didn't make sense. And yeah, that was my main reason for staying. And which, to be fair, I think that if I did leave, I wouldn't have like. I think if I did leave, I wouldn't have met Daniel. Uh, it's probably a fair few people, and a fair few experiences that I'm grateful for that I would not have happened. Because I think with COVID pushed the foreign
Yeah.
community closer.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can feel
What
that. Yeah,
about you, man?
definitely.
Why
Definitely pushed us a lot closer. Made us more.
why didn't you leave?
Why didn't I leave? All right. So first of all, obviously, like I think like parallel to the reason that you mentioned, money being paid, working online. Even though I'm not that type of person that likes to, I mean, after a few months of teaching, I really started to fall in love with the process of teaching. I loved interacting with the kids, and I really didn't like online. But I think that parallel aspect of the unknown, we didn't know what was going on. No one knew what was going on during COVID. We never knew if it was going to last for 3 years, 6 months, 2 days, however long. And I think not knowing what was going on, getting paid while you were working online, as Nick said, half the
Mm.
work being paid online. I mean, there was no aspects. There was just no reason. But I got to admit, January 2020. Let me get my dates right here. January 2022, I was going to leave. I was planning to leave end of the contract come August 2022. So August 2022 was when I was going to leave. I was leaving China. But what had turned me was that in the process of interviewing, I was trying to find a job in Cyprus. I was planning on moving back to Europe and trying to find a job in Cyprus. And first of all, I was didn't have enough experience for what I wanted. I was getting offered a
Mm-hmm.
third of what I was earning if I had to do
Mm-hmm.
the exchange rate. And then all of a sudden, my current school came in. They wanted, I interviewed it, they offered me, and it was just the perfect fit. And I was just like, I wouldn't get this
Right.
opportunity anywhere else in the world. And now that opportunity's come, and I've taken it with two hands, and I'm getting the experience. It didn't make sense to move in that direction. Like you said, so many like COVID wasn't easy. Whoever's listening, whoever's watching, this is no misconception. This is no misconception. COVID was difficult, but like Nick said, it just brought us all together. It made us appreciate each other's company more, and it kind of like I don't know. It made us like friends. Like we like trauma or like a terrible event brings people closer together. I think we all have that shared experience, like 20 years down the line, there
Mm-hmm.
could be a group of us at meets for a dinner or a drink, and we'll be like, we still share something. We share a connection that is so cool, but it came from such a
Yeah.
terrible time in
I
history.
yeah I heavily agree with that, and like you said it, and COVID also allowed me. Well, I'll say allowed, but pretty much pushed us to exploring China more because flights from China to other countries was cheap.
Yeah,
So, and I had all these like before COVID, I had all these plane tickets to Tokyo. I just came back from Cambodia, which we can do Cambodia another day. We gotta do one episode. It's like my COVID story, bro. That's gonna be amazing. But but I just came back from Cambodia. I had tickets to South Korea and Tokyo and Madrid. So, but I had no tickets, no train, nothing to anywhere in China. It was basically like if you kind of think of it, I was using China as like it's like a starting base to go everywhere else because it was cheaper to fly to almost every other country around China, like all the Southeast Asian countries and whatnot, and like Russia. Like I wanted to visit
yeah,
Russia and stuff like that. Um, but I think that when COVID kicked off, I was it because we were still allowed. It got to a point where we were allowed to ideally travel anywhere we wanted to in the country. We just couldn't leave, or you could leave, but you couldn't come back. And so I think that forced me to be like, okay, I still want to travel. Boom, let's go all around China. And that's what we did. Like me and my crew, me and Dane's been on a few trips. It let me go to I got to go to Mongolia. I got to go to Shanghai, Chengdu, Chongqing, Beijing a few times. Shenzhen, which is still one of my favorite cities. Um,
yeah,
stuff like that. Like I got to travel to these Guilin and these small, like off the map or off the touristy path cities. So I got to really explore China the way I wanted to. So
yeah,
granted, I didn't get the COVID didn't it took away my international travel outside of China, but it allowed me to go see all the things in China that I probably wouldn't have seen or as uh like as soon or as lined up or whatever you want to say if it wasn't for COVID. Not going to say I'm thankful for COVID. I'm not going to say
yeah.
that, but it was just one of those like it was one of those like this is the bubble you're in, make use. And we was like, all right, cool. And it was cheap because Chinese people were scared. They were terrified of COVID. Where all the foreigners were like, yeah, we're not really tripping. So flights was cheap. Flights were
Yeah.
empty. Trains were empty. I mean, so I just like screw. It. We just
Yeah.
wore a mask and we just mobbed around everywhere. But I yeah.
Yeah, no, it was like you said, yeah. It was cool. It was different, but yeah, so
Hmm.
that's why we didn't leave.
Yeah.
There
That
we go. You got the
basically that
answer.
money.
And I think we should save the rest of the questions for that money,
Yeah, we could do the
that
we could do the
money,
rest of the
honey.
questions another episode.
That money.
But please, if you're
Yeah,
listening,
definitely.
please send us more questions. Anything you want to know. If you want to know about really it's just anything about us, man. Anything what we however we can help. I've been trying to since I've been gone. I have had this desire now of trying to see so many countries. I'm on my little Europe kick now. I'm going to Amsterdam next month. Uh, but now I'm like,
Lucky man.
I was,
Lucky
I
man.
think I was doing like a little mini quiz yesterday, and Andorra came up, which I didn't even know was even a country. It's like a small principality in between France and Spain. Did not know this. I just thought it was like a clothing brand or something like that. And no, Andorra,
Pandora.
Andorra. No,
I thought you said
no,
Pandora. I
not
was like, that's
Pandora.
a jewelry brand,
No,
Nick. Not a
no,
country
Andorra.
between
And
France.
since I found out about this place, I fell down an Andorra hole, like just doing research and looking up stuff. Got on Snapchat and just looking at people's snaps in Andorra. I don't even snap. I have a Snapchat. Don't send me anything. I don't send pictures and snap. I just get on there to metal. Um, and I want to go to Andorra. I was looking at
Yeah.
tickets just because. Why not? I want to go to. I want to go. I have this
Yeah.
desire to go to Liechtenstein. I don't even know why, but it's a weird name. It's a country that no one ever talks about. Bet I just want to pull up for a weekend. What y'all doing? So
Nice.
yeah, it's yeah. So but we can get into more questions another episode, man.
If you have, yeah, if you have any questions or you want to follow us, we're on Instagram. Yeah, at Big Belly Pats. So we're not too hard to find. So yeah, if you follow us and you have any questions, pop us a DM or a message, and yeah, we'll put it on the podcast. We'll have a chat.
Yeah.
We'll debate.
Well, we'll we'll,
Um,
we'll have it.
so yeah. So
We'll have a chat
moving on
about
from
it,
the
and
questions.
I'll be on early. Daniel was a bit late today, but so yeah, I'll be on.
Hold up, hold on. I'm not gonna let this slide. No. So let me
I feel like it's
just
my turn. It's my turn.
Nick's gonna claim this. I was never late. No. What do you mean it's your turn? No. I said we're gonna do this. We're gonna meet at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock my time. 11 o'clock his time. I'm walking back from school, guys. I'm working. He's got a day off today, and he's like, "Oh, I'm on," and it's like, "Hold on, it's 5:15. What do you mean you're on? Oh, I'm just taking some notes." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Are you on the studio taking notes, sending me an invite to join him on the studio? This guy's 45 minutes early." And then it's 5 to 6. I've been on for about 10 minutes. We're chatting. He's like, "Yeah, you're late. Why are you so late today?" I looked at him and I was like, "No, I'm not late. I've been early trying to put this board up. You're watching it." And he claimed it. He tried to claim this. First time in history, man. I swear the Sahara Desert somewhere is going to snow tomorrow. If I promise you now, if there's some crazy environmental thing tomorrow, I will know why. I won't even be surprised. Even if aliens land and they actually reveal themselves for once, I'll be like, "Yep, I'm not even surprised. Nick was early. There's a reason
Look,
why this happened." Gosh, here you are on the
look, man.
podcast trying to claim
I
this.
told you. All right, we run on my time. All right, I was here. All right, I was here early. For
No,
people
that's
that
it.
look, Daniel's doing all this rah rah and all this loud stuff. Just listen to my smooth voice. I was 45 minutes working. All right. I got here before the coach got here. Just getting up shots. Working on my craft. Goat status. Now next week will I be late? Who knows? Let's roll the dice and find out. Anyways, we're not living in the future. We living for now. I beat Daniel to the studio, and his streak is done. You're only as good as your last game. I'm currently the winner, so it's what I do, man. This is what I do. But I was, I was early, and I was like, I'm gonna go in early, and then Lucy was like, I think Daniel would appreciate that. I think he would appreciate if you showed up early.
did appreciate it.
But I was in here, man. I was just taking some notes. I was editing some past episodes. Just trying to get it all together, man. Still some things we got to work on. Uh, as pretty sure some of you can see
Yeah.
or hear, we've been having some technical difficulties on this episode. It might be the name of this episode, Daniel's technical difficulties. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because he's using
Internet issues.
that Chinese VPN Wi-Fi. It's you got to hop over that firewall. They don't make it easy all the time.
It's dodgy.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
The Great Wall of
So
China.
yeah,
Gotta
but
get over it.
anyways, man, outside of this expat rah stuff, even though it is what we're going for, uh, I need to talk to you about Loki. Are you caught up?
All right. What have you got to say about? I've watched episode 3. Yeah. I have.
Episode three. It's more
I
than
have
three
watched episode
episodes.
3. So I no, it's not. No, it's not. It's two. No, it's episode 3.
Oh
Am I one
God
behind
damn!
now? No, I'm not. I'm not. Oh no! Did I do this again? Ah, I did no. Episode 4 is coming out the 26th of October.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, mate.
Okay, my
Yes,
bad,
episode
my
1,
bad, my bad, my bad, my
Ouroboros.
bad, my bad,
Episode
my
2,
bad. Player,
Breaking Brad.
player.
Episode 3,
I'm sorry,
1893.
big dog.
I had to Google that just to make sure.
I
I had
love
to
you,
just
man. I'm
Google
sorry. I'm sorry. But
that.
as far as episode 3, um, your girl and I know a little bit of the lore with Kong, or whatever you want to call him, and Ravana. She is first of all that little cartoon, that Miss Minutes. She batshit crazy.
Miss Minute. She crazy, man. In episode 3. All right, hold on. Before we carry on this whole thing, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Some people haven't watched this. I got in trouble from a few people. We're sorry. So just spoiler alert before you listen to the next 10 or 15 minutes. Spoiler alert. Episode 3, Loki. I don't know
Yeah,
why you're behind. Catch up. But carry on. Miss Minutes
that
is
crazy.
crazy, man. It's like a
Yes.
scary cartoon.
When they dropped the girl off that boat, she's like, "Yeah, you
Yeah,
had to do what you had to do."
man, that was okay.
Oh,
When she put her face on that
yeah.
mannequin,
She's like, "Why'd you never give me a body?"
no,
I was
no,
like, "Yo, she
no,
crazy,"
no,
and
no,
and
no.
Ravonna Renslayer is stupid. But
I'm not. I didn't enjoy it like how she was first of all manipulated by Miss Minutes. She was chucked off the boat by Miss Minutes, and then she lets Miss Minutes free
she's
again.
an idiot. But if
I
they
didn't
follow
understand
the
that.
comics that I've seen, so Ravana and is it Kong or Kang? I always get it wrong. Okay,
Kong.
He Who
Well,
Remains, but
he who remains.
Kong the Conqueror,
He who
and
remains.
they have this in the comic series. They're like lovers slash nemesis, rivals, whatever you want to say. So they're like they hate each other, but there's a few times that they like get together, they love each other. But then it's a few times where she's like, "I want to be your partner." He's like, "Nah, bun that. We ain't got no partner." And so when they dropped her off at the end of time,
Yeah.
she's about. I think in this series, she's about to really cause some damage, thinking that she's trying to like, "Oh, I'm saving the TV. I'm saving the timeline." She about to just mess everything up, and she's too easily influenced by this damn cartoon.
Man, that cartoon's
Yeah,
scary. No. That ain't no
nah,
Cartoon Network stuff. No.
that I was like, no, this stuff. And then what's your girl's name? Sylvie. Sylvie. I was on the fence with her. Yeah. I was on the
Sylvia.
fence because she. I get where she's coming from that she needed to kill uh that variant, Victor Timely. I get that where she's coming from because she knows the future that what's going to be with
Yeah.
him. So I get that. I also get that it's like they're like, no, we kind of need him right now. So I was like, damn, I get where you coming from. I get why they coming against you, but I also get where you coming from because they've been having her. She's been trapped and been fighting for her life since she was like 6. So I completely understand where she's coming from.
Yeah, yeah. She kind of has like that power struggle in the series so far is pretty cool. Like they both they both get each other, but they're also trying to keep on
Yeah,
their own goal line. Like Loki's trying to not kill him, trying to influence him to change certain things. Where Sylvia's just like, no, we got to kill him, and they kind of like they're not really doing it, if you know what I mean, but they're like kind of understanding each other in a sense, but also don't want to understand each other. So that's a pretty cool character dynamic going on there. That's like the two characters are trying to fight each other off type thing, and that's a pretty cool play. They're not like trying to just lean into one's desires there. They're trying to
right.
actually play it off one another.
Yeah, I was like, but it's so many different variants. So it's like, yeah, you can stop him, but you got 600 other ones to deal with.
There's another one coming, and the other 600 are
Oh,
probably
easily,
some of them are worse.
easily, easily. So
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what's going to happen when they take him back to the TVA, but I think Sylvia should have killed Renslayer, Ravana, um, because
Yeah, for sure. Don't,
because
don't
the
let
whole
her
thing
loose with
is
this
that
minutes.
with Timely, she might have like let that one slide. But I think when Renslayer meets the other variants, because she ideally she falls in love with them. She's kind of like a Harley Quinn Joker kind of vibe. Like they hate each other, they both terrible for each other, but they both heavily want each other.
Yeah.
But they both also want to kill each other, but they can't kill each other, so they just beat each other. It's just this whole cat and mouse game of just stupidity. Yeah, it's a very toxic
Cycle.
relationship. Yeah, it's a very toxic
Tom and Jerry
relationship.
all over again.
So, but I'm excited for episode 4, which comes out to you said the 26th. Are they come out on Thursdays?
Well, come on Thursday American time. So obviously we are ahead. So it will be Friday 2 a.m. for you and
2
Friday
a.m.
9
Ooh,
a.m. for me. I
okay,
think we discussed that,
okay.
yeah. So
Um,
yeah, no. Just watch it on a Friday afternoon. It's pretty chilled.
am I allowed to talk about Gen V while keeping it somewhat PG, or do your kids listen to this?
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I ain't gonna go
Okay.
into too
Look.
much
All right.
detail.
I think we do have some
Yeah,
explicit
there's
material,
a few cuss words.
but guys, Nick made me watch Gen V
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
now,
whoa, 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 whoa,
and
whoa, whoa, whoa,
a
whoa, whoa, whoa,
few.
whoa, whoa! I
Hold on
made
here.
you watch
So
Gen V.
no, you didn't make it. You just you. It was never on my list because I watched The Boys, and The Boys it was a good series, but it's a lot to take. It really is a lot to take. There are things where you just like, we gotta keep watch. Those moments in TV where you just like, why? And I think it's a great series, The Boys, and it tackles a lot of things. But now, obviously, from The Boys, there's like the spin off Gen V. And I'm a episode and a half in, and I'm probably gonna finish episode 2 and maybe get onto episode 3 tonight. But just guys, I can't do it while I'm eating. It's hard. It's really like it's not like I'm saying there's a lot of violence. It's just there's a lot of
Yeah,
awkward moments, and like it's not for children. Please don't ever make your child watch Gen V. They have to be like 30 to watch Gen V. No one under the age of 30 should watch Gen V. Not even 18-year-olds should watch Gen V. That's too much. 18-year-olds don't even know what's going on in life, and you want to
you
make
can't
them
say
watch
that.
Gen V. It should be like R30
You can't say
plus.
that now because that's
I can't say that.
it's age
No, yeah,
discrimination or
sorry.
something now. I'm pretty sure in 2023.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, 18-year-olds. You can
I'm
watch
pretty
Gen
sure
V. Just don't
at
ask me what's
this.
going
I'm
on.
pretty
Because
sure at
I'm
this
still trying to
time
figure
it's
out what's
like
going.
a 6-year-old can make their own decisions. So everybody's an adult now.
Yes. Okay, cool. Well, please don't. If you watch it at your own risk. Don't blame them. Don't ask me what
It,
happens. I don't know. I'm not answering any questions. But we can
I
talk
will
about a little bit
say
of it.
for those who
It's
have watched The Boys, which The Boys, if you haven't seen The Boys, it's an amazing show. I actually read all the comics after watching the first episode. I mean, the first season. I went and read all the comics, and if they follow them, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone listening. I won't spoil it for Daniel. The ending and the big bad is not who you think it is. I will say that. Um, and The Boys,
In Gen V.
but
The
they have
boys. No,
more
I
seasons
finished the
coming.
boys.
Yeah, but I'm
Oh, they have
saying
more seasons. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I've
You
read the
okay?
comics,
Cool. I got it now.
and
Got it now.
I
Got it.
would just say how
I'm on
everyone
track.
thinks Homelander's the big guy, the big bad. Homelander ain't touching the real big bad. The real big bad's pulling the strings. You'll see. But
Okay.
anyways, if you watch The Boys, there's a spinoff show, Gen V, which is like superheroes who are like in college, not the same people. It's a couple people from The Boys who make like little cameos, but it's just like a college for superheroes to be part of the, what do they call it? The Six, like the Justice League or something like that. The Seven, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
seven they used to be called.
But
And they caught something out.
and
Yeah, the seven.
Gen V, it tackles the tropes of like 2023's or this era's, identity and gender identity and all this stuff. Won't get too heavy into it, but it's a crazy show. It's crazy. It's ideally what you would think if you could put yourself in a not raunchy, but just a college with kids who don't really know themselves and give them superpowers. You're going to get exactly what you would expect. Um, it's without spoiling
Yep.
anything. It's some cool stuff in there. But if you watch The Boys first and then watch Gen V, it's right on line with it. Maybe a bit more excessive, but it's right on line with it. But I like it. I like Gen V, man.
Yeah. It's excessive. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of cringy moments, and there's like
Yeah,
type things. Ugh.
yeah,
But that's fine. That's
yeah.
okay. It is what it
So
is. So I hope now moving on, coming to the end of this podcast, this technical difficulty podcast. We're gonna end with our so-called dad
I,
jokes.
I,
Have you got one,
wait,
Nick?
wait,
Have you
wait,
got a
wait,
dad joke
wait.
today?
You just you do yours. I had a dope one. Where did it go? You do yours though.
Okay, I'm still gonna find one because I go and I find one. Let's see. Let's see now while we got one.
I got one. Not the one that I
I like
found,
there
but one
was
that
one.
I saw earlier. It was how do you know your boss is stupid? He hired you.
How do you know? Sure. You're going below the knees there, mate. Okay. Jeez. I did nothing wrong. I didn't deserve that. Wait. I don't want to say this one. Um, there was one. I saw it. Now why can't I find it? There was one. I wrote it down.
What are the strongest days of the week?
Aha. Okay. Let's do this one. Oh, wait. What is the strongest days of the week? I know
It's
this one. I know this one.
Saturday and Sunday. The rest are
Um,
weekdays.
that's a classic old one. All right. So I got one
Okay.
here. I got one. So, oh no, it's gone off. Where did it go? No. Yes. My boss said to me, "You are the worst train operator ever. How many trains have you derailed in the past year?" I said, "I'm not sure. It's hard to keep track."
I see what you did there.
Ba-dum-dum. I'm gonna cut it there.
I see where you were trying to go with that one. I see it. I'm just trying to see. No, never mind. Okay, I don't have another one. Yep, that's it. Yeah. So,
We're done. We're done.
but yeah,
Throw the
everyone,
white flag. It's
appreciate
cool.
you listening to episode 6. Daniel swore up and down this is episode 5. His math isn't the greatest, but we're getting there. But episode 6, haven't worked out a title yet. But yeah, man. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah,
I
episode
posted on
6.
my Instagram and said It's crazy that, you know, you people can look at my Instagram, my stories, and not listen to me and Daniel rant about randomness and BS. But that's cool. Uh, the people who haven't made it to this point, I love you. Thank you for listening. Shout us out. Give us any criticisms, any questions. Help us out. You know, do what you got to do. The people that didn't make it to this
Yeah,
point, you know, I mean, I, you know,
you're missing out. You're
I
missing
can't be
out.
upset at you for the way your parents raised you.
Well, if you are listening, if you are listening and you've subscribed and you follow us on Instagram and YouTube, just give us a share. A share, just it's quite easy, guys. Just it's the little arrow or the little blocks with an arrow. Just click on it, share it, and share it with everyone. It's something that we're taking, that we're enjoying. I'm enjoying the process. I told Nick the other day we didn't record for a little while, and I was like, I actually miss recording. I actually miss talking about what we do and why we're doing this. And yeah, thanks. Shout out to the people that gave us love and feedback. I mean, any criticism is good criticism. It really does help us with the show. So yeah, thanks, man. Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
thank you, thank you. And episode 6, Big Belly Pats. We out.
See you later.